What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams Dalt Waters, and I'm back. And I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the globalists have unleashed the hordes upon Europe, especially upon the UK. The hordes have been unleashed, and this is what we call cultural enrichment. And I want to say this to you, people in America, especially those who tend to be liberal. If you find yourself in this stream listening, please prepare to deal with such things here in America. And I want you to understand, these people don't care about your feelings. They don't care about your emotions. They don't care about your thoughts. And violence is violence to them. Silence is not violence. Trust me, violence is violence. And see, I hope we don't get to this point, but I got a feeling we're going to have to partially get there in order for those people who are so far gone to wake up. But I just want you to see this. I'm gonna hit play. It's only a 6-second clip, but I want you to see the panic on a security guard's face as this horde descends upon them. And he realizes, I'm not a real man. I'm not a real boy. I'm Pinocchio. I'm not a real boy. What am I gonna do to defend myself? Watch as these hordes descend. Look at that look on his face as the horde descends. Look at it. Oh, shit. Let me rewind it. He coming down the steps. The horde's descending. Boom. Oh, look at this one back here in the back. Like, what am I going to do? Hey, they're coming. Get somebody on the radio. They're coming. All black everything, too. They got an all black everything. Ain't no doubt about it. This is what happens when you leave your borders open. Now, pause, stop, let me say this. Because somebody going to say, well, DW, you're trying to say everybody that came across the border is a bad person. No, of course everybody's not a bad person. But here's the problem with Kamala and Joe. You do know they let terrorists across the border. If, for example, let's say the number of illegal immigrants that have come across are undocumented persons, because that's the proper term to use, undocumented persons. Let's say the number of undocumented persons is 20 million people. The last number I heard was 11 million, so I'm just going to multiply it by 2. So let's say 22 million people. What percentage of that is a safe percentage of terrorists relating to your nation? I'm serious. What percentage of, let's go back down to 11 million. What percentage of 11 million people is an acceptable percentage of terrorists to let into your nation? And then what percentage of 11 million people is an acceptable percentage of rapists and pedophiles that you should let into your nation? And what percentage of that is violent gang members? What percentage is an acceptable percentage to allow in? Help me figure that out. Is it 0.0001%? Is it 1%? Is it 0.0002576%? Is it 3.17589%? What percentage is the right amount? Somebody may be saying, well, damn, now that you put it that way, DW, 0. Yeah. Remember Bill Gates had this thing where he said, he gave the carbon equation. He said, well, CO2 plus this plus humans plus this. We need to get this equation to 0. So one of these numbers is going to have to get closer to 0. One of the numbers needs to be 0. That's what it needs to be. Or else you will face the hordes. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's a distinct difference between the UK and the United States. And it has to do with gun control. And so there's these standoffs, fireworks, bottle rockets, glass bottles, things of that nature. I want to be clear with you, ladies and gentlemen. This situation will be 10 times more explosive, literally, in America. So you do not want this to get to this point in our nation. And we're already close to the point now. We're already getting close there, because we got black folks in Chicago and in New York saying, hey man, they done brought all these migrants in here, and these migrants getting what they want and we ain't getting nothing. They're closing down schools, they're doing all these different things. I need you to understand, if the hood pop off, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. Now, from a larger scale perspective, we don't want it to pop off because it's only gonna give cover to the globalists for them to do what they need to do. They need to fall, and there don't need to be no distractions. There don't need to be nothing hiding the fact that they did this. Nothing needs to hide the fact that they did it. They need to be held accountable. Let's see what's going on.
پشتو بنابع الله هيزك جولة من بوهاتوا هيج هيزك ناتوا أنا قدني أمي هذا ما مشكلة إيه بشرنا كين بو شر هاتوين بو هاتوين دفاع لقمان بكين بو هاتوين دفاع لمسلمان بكين امشي أنا شوي كذا ماوي الله يا الله أكبر هاتوين دفاع لمالي الله بكين.
Anytime you see a whole bunch of people with their face covered, carrying sticks and bats, you got a problem. Now, I want you to remember, on the very first one I showed you, this is the dude that's leading a crowd that's running towards the building. There he is right there. Watch this. Pause it. One more time, I gotta get that. Watch this. Watch this. Pause, 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 pause. Here he come. All right. See the flagpole right here? You're going to see him right there with the beard, right there, dead smack in the middle. There he is. Right there. Now, that demon, I don't know what that demon is right there. You see that demon with that face back there? With all red on and a crowd of black with a pale face? You see the demon? You see the spirit? Let me see if I can make it bigger for you. See the spirit right here? I might have made it too big. I don't know how that worked. Hold on. Everybody got black on. The demon got red on with a painted face. See the spirit? DW be tripping. Okay. If you say so. If you say so. I's crazy. If you say so, boss. I don't know what I'm talking. You don't know what you're talking about, DW. If you say so, boss, I's crazy. Now, on another note, ladies and gentlemen, getting away from that, let's take a look and see what's going on out here in these streets as it pertains to... Why is my thing all lagging like this? Stop it. Stop it, damn it. Stop lagging. Stop lagging. There we go. As it pertains to what's coming in the future for you and your family. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Wait for it.
A radical plan to crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
All these people, damn lizards.
Lila, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their driver's licence or passport, when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution, and it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behaviour. Now,
Whoa, engaging in bad behavior. So in order to get online in Australia, you need to submit your identification or your passport so they can track you and know who you are. And if you do anything that is bad behavior, you're basically going to be rounded up and arrested. So what does that mean for us, ladies and gentlemen? That means that in Australia, they're about to do something. They're lining up to do something to the Australian population. But let's go back. They said something about 100 points. Let's just listen to it one more time.
For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. A radical plan to crack down on social media abuse is being considered by the federal government. For more, Nine's Oliver Haig joins us live in Adelaide. Ollie, how will it work?
Lila, good morning. Essentially, it will work the same as a passport. Australians forced to submit 100 points of identification, like their...
100 points of identification. So maybe, your email address is 1 point of identification, is worth one thing and is worth 5 points. Maybe your driver's license is worth 100 points. Maybe your passport is worth 100 points. Maybe if you just show them a debit card, it's worth 20 points. So basically, 100 points of identification to be able to access social media, or else
their driver's license or passport when using social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. Now, police would have access to those social media accounts, and it's all part of a crackdown on online abuse. Now, users could be liable for defamation suits or even criminal prosecution, and it's all part of a plan hoping to deter people from engaging in bad behaviour. Now,
and the most important thing he said is engaging in bad behavior. That is so subjective. So is me drinking this coffee bad behavior? To somebody who believes that caffeine is highly addictive, this is a bad behavior. To me, who loves caffeine, it's just good. Now let's talk about the Olympics for a little bit. So we all remember the Olympics came out and they had mocked the Last Supper. Now somebody would say, oh, that was the Feast of Dionysus. It wasn't the Last Supper. Listen, bro, you know what it was. We all know what it was. And the Olympics is clearly anti-Christian. There's no doubt about it. It's established that they are. But the real question is, why are they that way? Why is it such a thing? For example, why did they tell this surfer that he couldn't have his surfboard with Jesus on it? Or why did they tell this beautiful Brazilian young lady, skateboarder, that they did not want her to mention Jesus when she won? Why? Why would they want to do that? And somebody may say, well, DW, because they're evil. It's a little bit more than just being evil. In fact, it's a lot more to it than just being evil. You see, Christianity is diametrically opposed to all of the things of the New World Order and the woke agenda. It is the enemy of that agenda. For example, under the tenets of Christianity, God is no respecter of persons. God is a spirit, and he's worshipped in spirit and truth. So therefore, skin color, race, ethnicity doesn't matter in his kingdom, because you're all children of God, right? Anybody who's ever read the Bible, you know that. Well, that doesn't work for that agenda. We got to divide everybody so we can split them up and control them. So all the tenets of Christianity are the polar opposite of the tenets of the World Economic Forum and their woke agenda. And so Christianity is the enemy of that agenda. And if you don't see it yet, you will. I mean, you really will. And I'll explain to you how you know it's the enemy. When we went through the lockdowns, nobody would ever thought that they would have locked up pastors for having churches open. That they would literally come in and arrest the pastor for preaching the word of God. But they did.
Breaking news right now at 3. A Hillsborough County pastor is under arrest after hundreds of people packed into a mega church for services despite orders from law enforcement. ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane joins us now live near the church with the details she's learning at this hour.
Yeah, so just yesterday, the church held 2 services, one of them estimated to have 400 to 500 people crowded in the sanctuary together. This video is from that service. It was live streamed on YouTube, and you can see people standing shoulder to shoulder in the church. The sheriff says this violates Hillsborough County's Safer at Home order. He says Pastor Rodney Howard Brown showed a reckless disregard for public safety by blatantly ignoring orders to practice social distancing. The pastor is being charged with a misdemeanor for unlawful assembly and violation of the public health emergency order.
They did it. Rolled up and arrested people. Now, under the circumstances, with that intense amount of fear, it took a lot of fear for that to happen. But nonetheless, they did it. People had to be deathly afraid. So the enemy of Christianity has shown itself. And what they do as the World Economic Forum is they create idols for you to worship. So, for example, color has now become a god. What do you mean, DW? Color has become a god. So, for example, let's take American politics. Let's take color or race or sexuality or gender. When those things are elevated to where all decisions are made based upon those things, then it becomes a god. For example, your decision is supposed to be based on what's biblical and what's sound. That's supposed to be the center of your philosophy. Well, if your philosophy is based on gender, if your philosophy is based on skin color, if all your life decisions are based upon that, or your voting decisions are based upon that, then that is your God. So therefore, you fall under the rulership of that God because that's who you serve. And don't for a second think that those things aren't God. Don't for a second think that skin color has not become a God. You see it manifest in front of you. Don't think that gender or sexuality is not a God because you see it made manifest in front of you. In fact, that's what the Olympics was all about. That's what their mocking was all about. It was them displaying those gods to you. The ones that they have people serving. Real talk. I'm going to end this video right now, going to my next video. I think I went a little bit too deep for people. But for those of you who get it, you got it. For those of you who don't, man, I don't know what to tell you. You dig? Peace out.